Okay, let's do this. I have a love-hate relationship with anime. At one time, I didn't think very much of the genre. I mean, I'd seen Vampire Hunter D, I'd seen Akira, but they didn't really resonate with me. I mean, they were unique and interesting, but as a whole, anime just never really felt like anything I wanted to invest time in, except when I was just really, really bored. And yes, I know that using those two films as examples means I'm old. Thank you for noticing. I'm doing this anyway. But everything changed when I caught a snippet of a little show called Cowboy Bebop on Adult Swim. It was Session 5, Ballad of Fallen Angels, and I just couldn't look away. I was transfixed. By the time I finished the series, I was hooked. I didn't even know what an otaku was before then, and suddenly I was on the fast track to epic status. What I didn't realize at the time was that Cowboy Bebop is a unicorn. Widely considered one of the best anime series of all time, with iconic characters, memorable visuals, a theme and story that are well planned and executed, and one of the most well-earned emotional endings of any TV series, animated or otherwise. While no show is perfect, Bebop gets close enough to the goal that I wouldn't argue with anyone who said it was. Problem with starting at the top, though, is that coming down can really hurt. I mean, really freaking hurt. I was watching all the anime I could get my hands on, craving another breathtaking experience like the one that kicked off my obsession. But for every Trigun or Ghost in the Shell, there were 10 to 20 Witch Hunter Robins and Trinity Blood Pluses. Shows that at best disappointed me, and at worst made me regret the time I spent watching them. Which is why I purposefully combined Trinity Blood and Blood Plus into a single crappy show instead of two, because I want to pretend that they sucked down less of my life than they actually did. So, because of this less than stellar ratio, I've walked away from anime a number of times over the years. But I've also always come back. And the reason being is that while unicorns may be rare, when you find one, it's an electric experience. It makes slogging through all that pulp worth it. Most of the time. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the top 3 things that I love and hate in anime. Let's start with some love. Love. Concepts. One thing that makes anime so great is the imagination on display. Premises that would never get greenlit in Hollywood for being too strange or over-the-top crazy are given wings and allowed to soar free. People fighting to save the world from parasitic alien clothing? Got it. Copybooks with the power to kill people? Why not? Microwave ovens that can allow you to travel through time? Yep, that too. Every possible variant of vampire, werewolf, ghost, demon, and monster? You're covered. Oh, and how about an alien girl who hits people in the head with a guitar to release giant robots and assorted creatures? I'm not kidding. It exists. Now, I totally get when people say anime is weird, because it can be, but that bizarreness can also be the kind of creativity that is truly inspirational, sometimes even visionary. Hate. Endings. I can't tell you the number of anime that are like Stephen King books. Not because of the horror, but because the stories get you invested. The premise, the plot, the characters, the world building, everything is just hitting all the right notes. And as this amazing piece of media is nearing its inevitable conclusion, which you are totally sure is going to be worth it, it's a giant freaking spider. Why are you so bad at endings? Okay, in fairness, I can only think of one anime that specifically ended with a giant freaking spider. Most of the time, it's a giant freaking robot. So many giant freaking robots. I swear, it feels like there's just this unwritten rule that if you don't know how to end your anime, you just throw in a boss battle with a giant robot. I mean, it makes sense in mecha anime, but it happens in unrelated genres as well, and I've yet to see it be anything but awful when it does. But hey, endings are hard, right? Maybe that's why so many anime just skip them entirely. The massive amount of anime produced every season means that many never survive their initial runs. Not that a little thing like that will keep streaming services from serving them up to the unwitting enthusiast. I should know by now to research before I watch to keep from getting heartbroken. But I just never learn. YouTuber Gigic did an entire video on anime endings, so I don't want to steal his thunder. Although he does have 2.5 million subscribers, so maybe I want to steal just a little bit of his thunder. I mean, just enough so it's not unethical. Where's the line on that? Do ethics still exist in 2020? Speaking of morally questionable things, love, fan service. For the uninitiated North American viewers, the term fan service may make you think of Easter eggs that represent callbacks to previous iterations of a given franchise. In anime, it means girls. That is, sexy ladies in sexy outfits doing things in sexy ways. Just not in an X-rated way, because that's hentai and I'm not getting into that. I can't deny it. Fan service can be a lot of fun, especially since a lot of it veers into the fetish and kink territory, most notably bunny girls and maids, which I am okay with. BDSM and its many subsets get showcased on occasion as well, but like with most Hollywood fare, it's always reserved for villainous characters. Fun fact, most people who practice BDSM engage in it as a leisure activity. It is not associated with psychological pathology. But you wouldn't know that if your only exposure to the lifestyle came from movies and TV. In fact, the only piece of media that I'm aware of that treats BDSM enthusiasts as actual people is the erotic graphic novel Sunstone, which is available on Amazon, if you're curious. Quick side note, this is just a personal recommendation. Neither Amazon nor the creators of Sunstone are sponsoring this video. Though if they'd like to be. But I've digressed. Hate fan service. So, we've got bunny girls and maids running around everywhere, oftentimes in places where these outfits have no logical reason for being worn and would likely be more of a hindrance than anything. What's not to like? Well, those aren't the only fetishes showcased. They're just the ones that I like, and they happen to be on the low end of the skeevy spectrum. To give you an idea of just how dark this rabbit hole can get, there's an entire subgenre dedicated to just brothers and sisters being involved in romantic and sexual relationships. And since so much anime takes place in high school, it's safe to assume many of the girls we're meant to lust after are likely underage. Some of the sexiest underage anime girls, or lollies as they're called, are written as immortal beings of some type, so that many people argue, jokingly, I hope, that makes it okay. Yeah. I could do a whole video just on fan service, and I hope to eventually, but for now, aside from all the problematic elements that these portrayals of women entail, the thing that I hate most about fan service is the fact that it's often used as a substitute for quality writing. Some anime seem like they can't even be bothered with plots or themes. They just constantly throw fan service at you, and I guess they hope no one notices. Most of those I honestly can't even get through. I mean, I like sexy women, but if I just want boobs and no story, I can watch porn. Or hentai if I want my porn animated. Love. Characters. The same imagination and creativity that goes into anime concepts can also be seen in the character design. Anime has a certain look to it, and its protagonists tend to stand out. Not only can they look cool, but in the right hands, they can leave an indelible impression upon the viewer. Vash the Stampede from Trigun, Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell, the crews of the Bebop and Outlaw Star from Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star respectively, all are immediately recognizable and all have stories that actually develop them sufficiently
so that we can care about them. Like a good actor in a bad movie, a good character can elevate a weak anime if handled correctly. It's rare though, because just like a solid acting performance can make a movie better, there's only so much anyone can do if the material they have to work with is just bad.
And far too many anime focus on the characters looking cool, and then forget to fill us in on the details as to why we should care. Oh, and don't worry, I will be coming back to these three ladies in a future video.
Hate. Filler.
Filler episodes suck. When a show has a set number of episodes in its run, usually around 24 to 26 for the majority of anime that I've seen, the last thing that you want to see is one or more episodes consisting of filler. Filler, in case you don't know, is essentially a self-contained story that doesn't advance the plot or add anything to character development. They're also usually comedic episodes, which rarely land well.
For longer-running shows like Naruto, there are entire story arcs that are considered filler. You can actually look up lists of the filler episodes online where the average percentage quoted for Naruto and Naruto Shippuden is around 40%. That's almost half of the entire series run. What the hell, man? Filler usually occurs because the anime has gotten ahead of the manga source material and they need to effectively kill time until the books catch up. Which sucks for people who only watch the anime.
Some anime like to overlap their fan service with the filler episodes, probably to make them a little more palatable, but this assumes that you're willing to give a pass to poor writing for 23 minutes of swimsuit shenanigans, which I am not okay with. In the end, filler episodes in anime are exactly the same as they are in Western media. A waste. So that's it. Those are the top 3 things I love and hate about anime. In future episodes, I hope to tackle some reviews with a focus on a writing perspective, and maybe post a couple videos to help anime newcomers to get them accustomed to some of the jargon that they'll hear in the community. Alright, so if there's anything you'd like to see me cover, please let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, hitting the like button would be a really cool thing to do. If you want to see more videos from me, there's a subscribe button somewhere around here. And there's also a bell thing that I don't know what that does, but feel free to hit that too. And with that, I'm JK, not of the rowling variety, writer and slightly more than casual anime enthusiast. And I will see you next time.